everybody. I'm Kipp Snow, Director of the Transportation, Distribution, and Logistics Institute at the Community College of Baltimore County.
Hey, everybody. I'm Mike Singer, the Community Manager for Baltimore and Chesapeake Bay Shipwatchers, sponsor of this Two Guys Talking Ship podcast. Episode number 74, brother. Episode number 74.
All right. Well, this is the second time that we've attempted this episode. Yeah, we were trying to do it last night, and we had a nice thunderstorm that rolled through, camera problems, power outage, you name it, and we stopped it after about 15 minutes and said, we'll try it again later.
Stuff went crazy. We gave up.
Yeah. So we'll try it again today.
Yeah, so hey, if you're new to the channel or the podcast, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be alerted to new videos as they come available. And share with your friends across social media, you know, whatever we're talking about. So today we're going to cover review when we talk to Jim Harkness from MDTA about building Key Bridge and the Keywood off-ramping. We're going to talk a little bit about talking to our maritime attorney, Alex Giles, and talk about the Key Bridge trial. And we're going to cover SAIL250 plus our normal port news. So any of those subjects that you think anybody would be interested in, please, give us a share to some folks who you think would be interested in those things.
Absolutely. All right, why don't we go ahead and get into shipping updates?
Let's do it. So, man, feels like it's been a minute since we've done like just a regular podcast. So
right.
So I went back like 2 months here, so I'm just gonna rattle this stuff off, right? So just a reminder, these are the truck transactions that Ports America tracks and publicizes. So this is the daily average for the week. So this many truck transactions every day for each one of these weeks. And here are the numbers. 3454, this is April 4th, and we're going to just keep going. 3550, 3473, 3505, 3308, 3459, 3013. Wonder what happened there. I can't remember.
Right.
3517. 3711. Now that was a 4-day week, so we think they just tried to cram as much as they could into 4 days, like almost a week's worth. And then just this past week, 3575.
Right. So that's all represented up here on this chart with the blue lines.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything that you just read off is in the dark blue sections in this area here. Now, so far, what I've been able to do is chart out 2024, 2025, and 2026. And so, but the 2024 is in a lighter... a
little bit harder to see.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder to see. But what you can see up there is the is that dip. We're in that period of time right after the Key Bridge incident. So
right,
it's kind of hard to.
Once you kind of get your eyes adjusted and you can kind of see that big dip there. Yeah.
All right. So also with some. Why don't we get into some of the Port of Baltimore related news? Now, some of these things are more recent, but there's a number of items that we're going to address that have happened over the past month or so.
Right, and just 2 days ago, the Grande Cotonou, which is one of those, there you go, those Grimaldi Conroe ships, and if you can look closely here, you can see the bulbous bow is out of the water, and you can see those what look like two little holes. Well, they're not two little holes. Those are the bow thrusters, and they're, I don't know. Well, how big? Do you remember? Like, we had photos last time that someone took for us, and the people were in there.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't know, 10 or 12 feet in diameter or something.
Well, let's look at some comparisons here. This is the ramp on the back end of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That hole is big enough to drive other
Tractor
farm
trailer through
equipment and
probably.
things. And so that hole is a significant size compared to the hole
Right.
right there.
Right. So it would be cool one day if we could talk to some folks who worked on this, like what company is contracted to kind of come in. And so we know this is at least, it's almost like, yeah, I brought my ship in for a brake job, or, you brought my car in for, yeah. So this is the third or fourth ship that's had this bow thruster, replacement or service where, they adjust the trim or the cargo to get it to basically stick out of the water.
Yeah.
And then they get in there with a little barge or a boat and all the equipment and do the work. It's kind of wild.
I wonder if it's, it could be a couple of things here. It could be that we've got the right berth conditions and water conditions to allow for this type of a maneuver to take place. We may have the specialized, marine repair technicians in the port who might be able to go do this. I don't know. Or they may have to fly somebody in to go take care of it. There's a whole host of reasons why this might be like that, but it is kind of interesting that this is not the first time now. This is almost becoming routine.
Right.
Kind of like your Jiffy Lube or your Valvoline drive-through oil service here. Yeah.
Right. And I wonder if this is this is embarrassing. I'm just going to go ahead and admit it. I wonder if this is Jen's ship. General ship right down, that has the two small floating when the Constellation was in the graving dock.
Mm-hmm.
I think those were it wasn't the Constellation. Something I forget what went in there that needed some. When the big floating dry dock came up from Norfolk and it just barely fit in the graving dock. Right. Those were Jen's ship people, I think.
Okay.
So they do like little service contracts in other places. It could be them. I didn't think about that till just now. Yeah, so pretty interesting. And there was no heads up. This isn't on the news.
Right.
We just spotted it on the camera and, figured it out. So it's kind of cool that we have that ability to do that.
There's some more dredging going on.
Yep. I think we talked about on our last regular podcast because we were trying to figure out, because the dredging always is like done, always in the winter, always done by April, typically.
Yeah.
But remember, we had a pretty darn good freeze this year. We had that snow, and then it was freezing for 3 weeks after that.
Yeah.
And the snow turned to ice, and the ice didn't leave us for like a month. That was probably the coldest month we've had in years. And supposedly the ice is what delayed the dredging. And so they're still here. And here's the picture of the walking dredge. And if you go back, go to the website, BaltimoreShipWatchers.com, go to the podcast link, scroll down, just use the search function for dredge, and you can go back to our visit. I think it's podcast 46 or something.
That's about right, yeah.
Where we visited a dredge and interviewed these people. And, remember that? Just like... Oh, it's just a barge tied up next to a dredge, but they had this giant motor that tensioned the line so that the dredge was like
crab walk.
One with this. The barge was one with the dredge, such that when they dumped that bucket in there, it felt like an earthquake.
Yeah, definitely.
On this boat, if you will. It's fascinating to be on there. So, yep. So they're right out in front of the camera, right out in front of Trade Point.
Okay.
Just walking on by, dredging.
All right.
Yep.
All right. This next one you've got some connectivity with, don't you?
Yes, I think if it's the thing, but yep, yeah, this is cool. So this is kind of hard to tell what's going on here, but this is the NASA Pegasus barge. This thing was designed to haul the external tanks for the space shuttle.
Really?
Yes. But they needed it for the space launch system, the new rocket system. And I don't know, I forget what the numbers were. They chopped like 110 feet off of it and added like another 150 feet to lengthen it for the new rocket system.
Oh, interesting.
And so they're picking up a satellite from NASA Goddard. And shout out to my friend George Mooney, who took some pictures because he's a tech there. He helps put these things together. And supposedly it just left NASA Goddard today in this huge environmental trailer.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the other. Oh, here's a shot from the camera. So this is the total opposite.
This is the opposite of
180 degree from that. Yep. Pretty much. Yeah.
So that's what you're seeing on the other side.
Right. This is from the camera. This is how they haul it. It looks like it has a helm area, but it has no power. So it needs to be pulled around by a tug. So I guess like and so here is the satellite all folded up in the container without the lid on it, right? And so satellites are built in a clean room, right, where there's constant positive flow and filtering. Okay? So because of that, the air keeps moving. The air keeps moving in a certain direction. It keeps dirt off the optics. It keeps dirt off the solar arrays, all this stuff. And so when you transport it, you want it to stay clean. So there's a whole system of tanks and purging, right? And this is all done. So in the front of this, it almost looks like a trailer. Can you look at can you point to the front of that, the closest end of that? Can you do that with your mouse?
This right in here?
Yes, exactly. And it looks like there's like pipes there, right? So that's all connected to like another unit that's going to force air into here and constantly pump it and keep it going. I mean, typically these things go by truck.
Okay.
And it's a whole thing, right? They've got the whole thing mapped out, where all the low bridges are, where all the high bridges are, where you have to drive. You know, this thing, it'll go down by truck or like a C5 cargo transport. I don't think I ever knew about one going down by barge. So, and the fact that it's coming out of Port of Baltimore, and then one of the people on the Shipwatchers spotted it and said, "What is this thing doing here?" And I'm like, I don't know. But we figured it out. Sure. So this is kind of cool. We're kind of working all sort of backwards here. This is when they took one last look at the mirror. Before they buttoned it up. And then what's the last picture is where they, I think it's of it assembled and standing up. Yep. So this is kind of cool because
let's give a size perspective. How tall is that dude standing there?
Yeah, right? Right? This thing is 18,000 pounds dry.
Man.
Without propellant, right? Because there are propellant tanks in there. So it can adjust its orbit over lifetime. They save a little propellant at the end. This was fascinating, and I found this out because I work for NASA. For years, they never saved any propellant. They just, okay, you know, we think we're going to need to boost it this many times. We want this experiment to last 5 years. Here's how much propellant we need. Okay, and this is going to sound bad, but, you know, where it lands, it'll burn up in the atmosphere.
Well, it's
right.
Well,
now, and this has only happened like in the last 15 years, 15, 20 years, where they save a certain percentage of the propellant so they can make sure that they can steer it down to, you know, a giant unpopulated spot in the Pacific should anything make it through the atmosphere.
Sure.
And this thing is sitting on what we call a turnover dolly. So you probably pick the thing up, put it on the turnover dolly, okay? And I don't know if you can kind of see underneath the right front edges, you can kind of see some, like an arc of teeth.
Can you talk about this gear that's right here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole thing just goes sideways until it's basically 18,000 pounds hanging like this.
Wow.
Right? And then they you know, support the weight and then undo the bolts and then pick it up and put it in the cradle. So, famous space trivia. I forget which company it was, so I won't try to guess because I don't want to say the wrong company. But company was everything is certified, measured, tested. There's no, hey Jimmy, you think this strap's gonna work? Yeah, go ahead. No, I mean they test everything once a year. There's a little label on it that tells you when the test was done, when it expires. So, you know, having the right A286 stainless steel, you know, bolts to, yeah. So this company only had supposedly one set of bolts, and a satellite was standing on the turnover dolly. I think you know where I'm going with this. Mm-hmm. Somebody borrowed the bolts from the satellite because they thought nothing was going to happen. Now, they borrowed them for another purpose, to use them at work. It wasn't like they borrowed them for their Chevy or something.
Right.
But didn't tell anybody, hoping nobody would catch it. Somebody came in, didn't check that the bolts were there, turned over the dolly, and the whole satellite crashed on the floor.
Oh, wow.
This was, I don't know, 25 years ago or something. But
interesting. I
know we're getting way too deep just because I know this stuff. But it's kind of cool to get some background into everything that goes into, you know, this thing being picked up on a barge here at the Port of Baltimore.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what it is. This all started with, hey, you know, somebody's on the camera and says, hey, what's this thing coming up? And, you know, not everything is in a 40-foot container. Not everything is in a bulk salt ship or what have you. No, it's, you know, you also have very specialized cargo. So then I'm going to say, hey, look, let's take a look at that. There must have been something at the Port of Baltimore that triggered this particular transaction, and that they looked at the labor aspect and know, hey, we can bring it through here. We don't have to worry about there being any problems. We can be completely serviced through there. So I think that's for one thing, that's kudos to the Port of Baltimore. But two, it's really kind of cool that there's actually a direct connectivity to, you know, what we're talking about with the port stuff, plus what some of your background information and your career stuff. This is real stuff that people actually worked on, that were transacting through a port that's eventually going to be up in space.
Yep. So
It's just really fascinating. So I think that maybe the listeners going through this, going, oh yeah, this is really cool. Yes, it's space oriented, but it's part of the port.
right, and let me just bore you to tears for a couple more minutes. So just above, just above that last white horizontal piece that the satellite is bolted onto, you can see some gray panels with like white squares on them.
Yeah.
Those are honeycomb panels with glued in inserts right there. And the colors are all different for a reason, for thermal conductivity, for dumping heat into space, because the electronics are on the backside of where those white patches are. And so, like, everything is analyzed for temperature, and it's anyway. So there's 6 panels there. I worked on those panels.
Oh, see, that's really cool.
Yeah. It was kind of cool because I got cold called, by some people who knew me. Hey, you want to leave what you're working on at this other NASA project and come over and work on this project because it's kind of brand new and we need somebody. And
sure.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Cool. All right, up next, there was a video that came out this week from the Maryland Port Administration on the new grain transloading facility.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about a minute and a couple of seconds long, but Mark Schmidt from Ports America Chesapeake kind of gives that overview. They've got some really cool pictures and images of the facility, coming
progress.
online.
Yeah.
Why don't we share that?
Let's do it. Doesn't look like much there, does it?
No, I think that's the beginning phase right there. And then this
so,
is
as you can see behind us, construction is well on the way for our new grain transload facility for our export grain product. The construction team of Brock George is doing a wonderful job to keep us on track for our August start, and we look forward to providing services to the Maryland and regional farmers to export their grain.
Look at that.
It takes a couple steps out of their operation by providing transloading on site rather than having to pick up an empty and take it to the farm and bringing it back. We can use the farm trucks and the hopper trucks today, unload the grain from their trucks, stuff it into a container for ocean freight.
I'm glad he explained that because I don't think I really grasp the difference and why the process was better, how this made it better or more efficient. So
right.
It's a simple explanation, but I think I missed that the first time when they had like the groundbreaking video.
Gotcha. I just think it's fascinating that we're even getting into this side of the business. I mean, obviously there's a need, and we have the ability to do the transloading now, but I think up until now, it's just been container transfers. So now this is interesting that we're getting a little bit more involved in that export process.
Yeah, and so instead of them having to come down and get a container, take it back, because it could be an hour away, it could be 2 hours away, right, and then you're in port traffic and in town and going through a tunnel and right. So now you've taken out whatever a day's travel and of time, and you've you're totally skipping a whole trip.
Right.
So now you can just drive down with the vehicle, whether it's a hopper or tanker or however it's right, and just bring it down, your equipment, your truck, your trailer, and transload it to there, and then it happens here. So that's kind of cool. I'm kind of fascinated that somebody had the forethought. You know me, I'm always wondering how everything works. So, we'll have to put this on our Jonathan list.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Right. Like, who was looking at this and said, what if we, and how long did that take to, from that idea to that somebody really wanted to make it happen, and then, gosh, then you're finding the money for it, which is,
right.
I'm sure that was the longer portion. The evolution of that would be interesting.
Correct. Yeah. So it's also, but I think you also hit the nail on the head with, hey, you're reducing the number of moving transactions. It's now a cost reduction. Now we're becoming more, that helps us to be more competitive in that particular market, and we may be able to actually grow that business beyond what you see there.
That's a good point. I wonder if their cost went down to the end consumer. And by consumer, I mean who's ever buying whatever they're selling, not
Correct.
the people in the grocery store on another continent. I mean,
right.
Whatever that company is that's buying that bulk product that they're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What do we got now?
I've got a quiz for you. Okay.
Okay.
There was somebody who there was an image that was taken. I believe it was this past week, and quite an interesting looking object that was brought through the harbor.
Yeah. What the heck is that? A giant Frito?
It'd be a little soggy Frito.
Well, or a soggy Bugle. Remember Bugles?
I used to did you take the Bugles and pour like Coke or Pepsi into it and then eat it?
Oh my God, no.
You know, bite the middle, bite the end.
Oh yeah, yeah. You always bite the end off. Is it? It looks more like a giant Funyun.
Funyun. Is that even a real
Careful.
item? Yeah, I know.
And what I told my wife is, don't ever bring those golden Oreos in here.
Oh, because you...
Oh, my God. Those things are so... I'll just grab 4 every time I go in the kitchen. The whole box will be gone like in a day. Is it a giant golden Oreo?
Do you remember a couple of years ago, they had this huge floating duck?
And people love that thing.
Yeah.
And it just shows up in random places for...
Did somebody deflate the duck?
Somebody... Yeah, so that was wild. We're like...
What is this thing?
What the heck is this thing? Somebody's pushing through the harbor on a tug. I mean, it's kind of interesting, the different stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a big week for unusual stuff, but...
That's right. Yeah, right? All right, so...
You go months without, and this is what it's going to wind up looking like.
We figured out what this thing is. And it didn't stay here in Baltimore. It just transiented through.
Right.
This is a semi-submersible structure that floats using equilibrium, displacement, and buoyancy that is being placed up in the tidal Schuylkill River in South Philadelphia.
Yeah, Schuylkill, I think they pronounce it.
Oh, did I do it wrong? Well, I'm not from Philly, so I can...
Me neither, but that's wild looking, isn't it?
So this thing is actually a cross between art, environmental research lab, and a general public access. So this is going to give people the ability to come enjoy the water in South Philly. But in this next pic, I go, okay, well, this is interesting. There's a ramp that goes down to it and get on your kayak.
Right.
I didn't quite understand it until I looked at this picture.
Whoa, that's wild, man.
And it's semi-submersible, so
That
you have
is
the ability
wild.
to walk down 3 to 4 foot deep into the against the water on this platform and get much closer to the water.
So if you're a little kid, if you're 8, 9, 10 years old, the water's almost at eye level.
That's right. It's
That's
also
kinda
used
wild.
it's also used for as an environmental research lab. And they're supposed to be doing some water testing and sampling and ecosystem related things. So,
And our favorite engineer friend is the one who figured this out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
So
this
this
is
is,
called FloatLab, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's called FloatLab. It's a new art installation.
That's
That's
wild.
what that is.
But supposedly it was made in what, Carolina?
Yeah, in North Carolina. Yeah.
So I guess they brought it up here by tug and we missed it because it like came out of the McLean yard in Curtis Bay.
Okay.
And it
Maybe
looks
it made it
way
stop?
too big to have been brought up here by truck. I don't even know how it got up here. Just
Yeah.
how does this giant yellow bugle looking thing just show up? Nobody knows how it got here.
Right. All right. Well, that was the there's your fascinating quiz. What is this in the Port of Baltimore?
Right, there you go.
All right. All right. You mentioned at the top of the show that we were going to recap. We had the last 2 episodes. We had Jim Harkness and Alex Giles on, and to talk about 2 very specific topics.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to give some highlights on that.
Yeah. Right. So we had Jim Harkness on, Chief Engineer, Maryland Transportation Authority, to give us update after that off-ramping by Kiewit, right? So everybody kind of lost their mind, and but so we've got some stuff written down here, but remember that this was a progressive design build. They wanted to find the best company that they knew that could design and build. They're going to have them do the design, and then if they can agree on the price, then they'll give them the build contract.
Right.
And we talked to Jim, and he talked about how they went over the numbers. They even tried to they went over the numbers for weeks trying to get the numbers close. They even chopped it up into different subsections, and maybe we can just get Kiewit to maybe do part of it. I mean, they spent a lot of time trying to make this work. And from what you and I heard, the number was astronomical compared to the number that we thought we were going to get, 4.8 to 5.2 billion, and it wasn't double that, but it was.
No, it was
Close.
It was a significant number, and since that episode aired, they have still come back out and said no, the price should be firm within that 4.8 to 5.2. So they did yet another analysis after that point and
That's
said no,
true.
this is really where it should come out.
They did say that, and I want to kind of go back and look at, because we had the graphic where they talked about. I'm going to hit up on some of this, but where they talked about the 4 contracts that is broken into now, and they had some numbers there, and I wanted to kind of go back and add them up.
Yeah.
Just anyway. All right. So to summarize, project work continues. The Key Bridge rebuild remains active with ongoing construction operations, pile driving, major crane activity at the site despite changes in the project delivery approach, i.e., despite them being off-ramped and not getting the build contract, they're still out there working the phase 1 contract that they're committed to. All right. So I'm repeating myself a little bit here. Kiewit removed from phase 2, successfully advanced the bridge design, but they couldn't reach an agreement on construction method, schedule, risk allocation, overall cost, leading Kiewit to be removed from the next phase, which was the build phase. Project split into 4 contracts. MDTA's divided the project into 4 separate procurements, marine demolition. So those couple of pieces of the bridge that are still there that people are like, I don't understand what. Like, I keep having to explain this stuff to people. Marine demolition, the Southland approach, which happens first, which is the longer one. Wait a minute. The Southland is... I guess these aren't in the right order. I think it's the Northland approach, which is the longer one. What's it? Another 1,000 feet or more. Then the Southland approach, so that one side of the bridge is much longer than the other, and they're going to stagger them so that they wind up kind of meeting and getting completed at the same time. And then the main cable stay, the main part of the bridge with vessel protection. So marine demolition, one side, the other side, and then the middle, basically. 4 different contracts. The new strategy aims to control costs. Breaking the project into specialized contracts is intended to increase competition, attract firms with specific expertise, i.e., how many regular bridge builders do we have here, right, that can do that kind of work.
Right.
Marine demo, and then cable stay bridge. And so they're thinking if they have companies with those specific skills, those specific contracts will be more efficient and then and less costly is the concept. Cost estimate remains unchanged. Officials remain generally comfortable with the previous announced project estimate of 4.8 to 5.2 billion, and believe the revised contract strategy offers the best opportunity to manage costs. Bridge design and timeline will move forward. Will remain a cable stay design, with contractors encouraged to propose innovative construction and vessel protection solutions, should they be money and time saving. That isn't here in our write-up, but we do remember Jim making that point. Like,
that's correct.
If there's a design here that you'd rather do it a different way, if you can show us that you can save us whatever, a month and $500,000 or whatever the numbers are, you want to do it your way, as long as you can demonstrate those benefits.
Correct.
Contract awards are expected to begin with marine demolition this fall, followed by approach work and then main span procurement. That's pretty much a summary. So take yourselves back to episode 72 and get all the deets from Jim in
That's right. Yeah,
in detail.
He goes into much more detail than what we just talked about. But I appreciated him going and explaining everything to that level, and how the contracts are going to get broken down, or the projects down into 4.
Yeah, because we heard that happen when they did that announcement, or that I forget what that meeting was, with the industry players, and but to hear him explain it and the reasons why they did what they did, it was great to have him on.
Yeah, absolutely. We also had Alex Giles, who's one of our local port maritime lawyers, come on, and while he's not directly involved in some of the litigations going on, he had some understanding, was able to provide us with kind of maybe a little bit more than layman's terms, but it was just the fact that it was explained. Each one of the questions that the post rant that he started, which created the questions, and he went into further detail to explain. But
right.
Alex did have, we had about 6 different questions or so that we went through. We asked, why did the tugboats leave the Dolly before it reached the bridge? And this is a standard procedure, and he went into detail as to at what points you can and can't release. Even went into detail at what points within certain parts of each channel you could, where this would happen. So he went into detail about that. We asked, why did Maryland settle for just $2.25 billion? And then so he went into detail that yes, so this also is the largest maritime settlement in U.S. history.
I think that's a big point.
Yeah, I mean that is a major point. But this settlement also avoided years and years of litigation and uncertainty and continuation of this process. This actually helps with going and addressing that particular issue so that we can move on to the other components. We asked point blank, will Maryland actually receive the settlement money? And it was just a flat out yes. That's an agreement. That's a legal binding agreement. They would not have agreed if they weren't going to go and pay it or had the funding to pay it. So this transaction is just going to take place in
because all the Facebook lawyers said, well, they're never going to get that money.
Correct.
Which and a little bit of a background that, remember, and you started to talk about it earlier, and I think he got frustrated with seeing all these people having these questions, and then he posted this
right
kind of rant that, hey, if you don't know what you're talking about, then maybe you shouldn't be talking about it.
Right.
Which was which you and I both found we were thankful for, and we found entertaining, and then we're like,
correct, yes,
let's have him on.
That's right. So we also asked, why is there still a trial if major claims have been settled? He said that the claims that have been settled include the litigation with the U.S. Department of Justice, Chubb Ace Insurance, which had the insurance policy on the bridge, the state of Maryland, and the 6 deceased workers and one of the 2 survivors. But that is, there are still other cases that are pending. There's other, legal cases that have to go through. So that's still part of the situation. So the trial was originally scheduled to begin in June, earlier this month. But the judge delayed proceedings after a flurry of settlements resolved, 39 of the 50 remaining claims, including personal injury, wrongful death, property, and cargo cases. So this actually, we recorded that episode the night before all of that came out. So we had talked some about, this is what you can expect in the case, and then the next morning, bam! It's been delayed. So, the judge wanted to go and see what happens with the remaining claims before they go on to a 5-week trial. So, it was great for us to be able to ask those questions and say, hey, look, you made these statements. Can you explain yourself more? And he said absolutely, and came on and explained with detail and facts, that backed up and explained it all. So real quick though, before we get too further, kind of bring the Key Bridge schedule into play.
Oh, cool.
And just giving some of the updates from what Jim Harkness provided. We wanted to share this chart of the timeline of where we're at.
Right.
So we're here in summer of 2026.
Yeah, how will we know? this big yellow indicator there. Kind of missed
I
it.
know, right? Mike goes and says, "Hey, how can we make sure that everybody knows where we are at?" And I go, "Oh, I'll stick a big yellow arrow out there. How about that?"
That'll fix them.
But you know, you could take a look here and see in the fall, you're going to have more demo and miscellaneous work, and
Right,
then
and virtual industry forum, which was what I was trying to come up with
there you go.
a few moments ago. Right there, the virtual industry forum, yeah, and then you can see the timing for the different work. Demo, Southland, Northland, and then main span approach. Like whenever, the starting point for each segment, basically.
Now, I want to show something.
That was
here
cool.
All right, so if you look, we're right here in the summer, and we've got these two. They've got this blue point and green point here that's going to extend into the winter, which is the trestle construction.
Yep.
And the pile-on pile installation.
Yep.
Now let's put this into perspective here, please. We can't get into the Southland approach span or the Northland approach span or anything else here until this trestle gets built, and this, and the pile-on pile installation is complete, which is not expected to be completed until winter 2027. So that means there is still work going on today. Now, if you're standing on one of the on-ramps, on-ramp locations, you may look at it and go, hey, there's not anything going on here. You may want to go and look on the camera or out in the water, because that's where the work is being done right this minute.
Very true.
Okay,
all the land demo, right? Everything
Mm-hmm.
that had to do with the bridge on land is gone.
It's done.
And has been gone. The only thing that's left are the very beginning of those two parts that go over water, right?
Correct.
So there's the last or the first pier that's on land, and then there's three more in the water, and then the same, on the other end. But everything else is gone. All the piers, all the roadway, all the cement, the abutments, everything, it's all gone and been gone for months.
So we can't start building the actual bridge until the trestle is built for all of the equipment to be able to drive out to those points to be able to start working.
Right. Yep.
So relax.
And yeah, they expect this work to go through end sometime, the end of this year,
Correct.
Just about, at turn of the calendar to end of the year time.
Correct. All right. So we'll keep an eye on this actual schedule and just to see how things are progressing along.
Yeah,
with that.
once they start putting out RFQs and getting in proposals and start doing selections, and things start, we'll be covering all of that.
Correct. All right. I also wanted to bring something up. Coming out of National Maritime Day and being out at Pier 13 and hanging out with the nuclear ship Savannah, they are in now this transition period. They have a deadline of December of this year out at Pier 13. I do not believe that lease, the pier lease, will be renewed. The Savannah is looking for a new home and new management, new ownership to go and take it on from this point forward. The nuclear containment facility has been removed. They've done a significant amount of work in her to get her prepared for life after now. And so the Nuclear Ship Savannah Association is in the process of taking ownership of that and having a final disposition. I think that there is a push right now to keep it here in Baltimore. But that's going to take some work and some creative means to keep it here. So they are really trying to put together this effort to go and save the vessel, try to keep it here in Baltimore. ns-savannah.com is their website. Spend some time looking at there. I know they're looking for some donations, but also it's more about getting the word out and making sure that the right folks are able to go and help support the Nuclear Ship Savannah Association with this endeavor. So I want to make sure that I got to plug in for this. Hopefully Bob will be happy with us bringing it up. But we'll continue to support this and let the public know about what's happening with that.
Sure, and just to unpack it like a little bit, the federal government is paying for this lease at the pier. If you have a ship at a pier, it's got to pay money to rent to be there, right? It's just how it is. Most people don't think about that. So the federal government is paying for it because the federal government is paying for
well, it's their
remediation, for lack of a better term, of the ship. So when they're done, that's it, right? And so if you're the owner of the pier, I would imagine you would say, all right, you're not paying me, this thing's got to move. Well,
yeah, chop, let's get this thing out of here so I can make some revenue.
That's a good point. And then it could have went anywhere. It could have went to any city or any group or any organization who had money and organization backing, financial, a place to put it is the big thing. You know, where are you going to put it? How are you going to pay to get it there? And how are you going to pay the money to keep it there?
Correct.
A pier lease, right? There were some interested parties. There was one really interested party, and then they couldn't make the arrangements for like a couple of years or something. And so now we were kind of just trying to figure out how to save her so she doesn't wind up in, just like
reef somewhere. Yes.
Right. So
we'll continue to support them and promote what they're trying to do to save the vessel.
Yep, because it is a beautiful vessel. It's pretty much a ready-to-go museum ship.
Yes.
Right? So all you need is what? Power and water and a pier and some money. But I mean, you don't have to do anything to the ship. It doesn't need anything. All right? It's a floating museum ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can help out with that.
All right. In our upcoming events, really the only thing that I'm going to address right this minute is the SAIL250 event coming up. Hold on. So there's some things that you're going to want to know about SAIL250. And we have I have a couple of maps up here to kind of showcase all of the different things that are going on. And then I'll kind of show you their website with the schedule of events. But
sounds good.
There's three major locations where you're going to be able to see vessels. I saw in several different places published that there is no cost to go on any of these vessels.
And I just counted 22.
Just right on this page, right?
Right.
So, and it's not just American vessels. I mean, we've got quite a number of vessels from all over the world who have come in to be able to.
What was their tagline? Baltimore welcomes the world.
That's
Something
right.
like that. Yeah, so that's really cool.
Looks like the Coast Guard Eagle is going to be at Pier 4.
Oh, that's cool.
Ironically, right this minute, they're down in Charleston, South Carolina. So that's from my stomping grounds. It's cool to see that they were down there. But again, lots of opportunities to get on vessels here, and this is the Inner Harbor. Down in Fells Point, you've got on both sides of the water, at both Tide Point and at Broadway, you've got some more vessels. And what I also found was interesting is from this little notice here, you can also tour the John W. Brown and the NS Savannah, and they'll have free shuttles from Broadway Square at Fells Point. So you'll be able to go back and forth there. But if you want to go and look at the Amerigo Vespucci at Tide Point, but if you're on the other side of the water, you can actually take the water taxi back and forth for this. So why not use a maritime vessel to go look at maritime vessels?
How about that?
Yeah.
That's like crazy talk, Kip.
Or Port, what's that?
That's like crazy talk.
Oh, I know, yeah. And also at Port Covington, there'll be a festival that's down there. This is going to be the point where you're going have the most visibility for all of the air shows. And there are actually 3 different air shows that's taking place over the weekend. We have the Blue Angels coming back, and there is a French group and a Canadian air group that's coming in to do air demonstrations.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure. So in the lower right-hand corner here, it's not clear to me. This is where the Blue Angels are going to be doing their air show. It's not clear to me if the other groups are going to be in this same air show box, or will they be like down to Inner Harbor?
I agree with your sentiment.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know.
I just didn't want to mislead people so that they thought everything was happening here, because I think there is some stuff happening at the harbor. I'm not sure which, but if you want to see the Blue Angels, Baltimore Peninsula, Port Covington is where you want to be.
So I wanted to make sure that we showed those maps. Those maps are actually listed on their website. And then you can also, they also have an app for smartphones. I'm going to download that. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah. So just for the viewers, Mike and I are going to be in and around all of the festivities that weekend, and try to do some, we were trying to take some video and pictures of all the sights and things.
If I can, you'll be able to spot us and one of us will be wearing this obnoxious Hawaiian Shipwatcher shirt.
You know what? We should probably both do it and be Bobsey twins. And
let's do it.
Yeah, that way everybody.
That'll be really obnoxious. We'll really generate attention.
If you see us out and about, stop us. We'll give you a free sticker. How about that?
There you go.
Also, SAIL250 has the website, the SAIL250md.org, because there are other SAIL250 sites and other locations across the
That's
US.
right, because this is a whole tour. A lot of these ships are going from city to city to city, so that's a great point.
Right. So, actually, ships start arriving on the 23rd. So, if you want to get out, along the harbor, and you might be able to get the ability to, get some good pictures of some of these vessels coming in.
Right on.
So that's all Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But note that starting on Thursday, you're going to start seeing the Blue Angels around doing some practicing between noon and 4, but it's going to be intermittent. But they have their official practice on Friday, and then shows on Saturday and Sunday. But even looking at the Friday, you've got the STEM exploration zone and a number of other festivals that that you can go out and do things and try things. I know that the Maryland Port Administration is going to have their table in the STEMS tent with all the different commodities, so you can actually see all the different kinds of commodities that are brought in. So that's a really neat exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, down on Saturday again, you know, ship visitation takes place all day long. The air show. You've got all of the different festival locations. Even Martin State Airport will be open if you wanted to go out there and watch some of the planes coming in and out.
Hey, and notice that says go back up for just a teeny bit.
Yeah, sure.
Inner harbor flyovers. Right? So
Yeah, that I
kind
think
of
that
leading
goes back
into
to
what we were talking about before about
exactly
which is where. So that lets you know there's definitely going to be some inner harbor activity.
Good.
From an aircraft standpoint.
Correct. And then on Sunday, more of the same, you know, and so if you don't get a chance to do everything on Saturday, well, maybe split it up in half, do some Saturday, and then come on back and do some on Sunday.
I mean, why would you need to do that? I mean, you can visit 22 ships in one day, can't you?
I know, right?
What's your problem? Just run.
Yeah. So also on their website, they give some information about the air show.
Mm-hmm.
But they also give a list of all of the different ships that are coming in.
Oh yeah, this is really cool. Yeah, just roll through this. Just when you see just the pictures of all these beautiful tall ships that are going to be here, is really incredible. So it's going to be, you know, for if you're a ship person, if you're a tall ship person, if you're a military ship person, man, you're going to go down there. You're going to be happy because there's going to be so much to see.
Right. So I wanted everybody to have a quick glance. Go take a look at their website. They got the app link on the right hand side. You can take use that. I would imagine that's going to be helpful for when you're out and about. You have your maps downloaded on your phone. You can see exactly what's going on. And
Kipp and Mike are going to download it, so we'll have a clue as to where we are on Sunday.
That's correct.
Sunday the 28th.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all right. So
awesome.
that's about it for today.
Okay. Cool. And as we close, just tell you a little bit about who the Shipwatchers are. But we are Baltimore and Chesapeake-based Shipwatchers. We're an organization that tries to educate folks about the Port of Baltimore, and we do that in many different ways. We've got a Facebook group with 17,000 people who are interested in the Port of Baltimore. We have a website with a lot of information, links to the cameras so you can watch the ships come in, links to this podcast. We have some stuff for sale, T-shirts, sweatshirts, caps, coffee cups, crazy looking shirts. There's ship schedules on there. You can even learn things. Do you know what range lights are?
Yeah.
Go check out the range light page. I'm not even going to go into it. But we're also on Twix. Shout out Amy Lawrence. Instagram, Reddit, Threads. Many locations on social. If you love what we do and you'd like to support us, it does cost money to host this website and keep things going. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Excellent. If you want to hear the audio version of this, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So go check us out there. All right, so yeah, I made a point not to wear my blue Hawaiian shirt, so I try to match it up, but maybe we will be the Bobsey twins out at SAIL250. If you see us out and about, say hello to us, stop us. I'll I think we'll both have some Two Guys Talking Ship stickers. You can, if you ever wanted a sticker with our two heads on it. We'll be glad to pass
we'll have the Who Wore It Better contest, and if you get the answer wrong, you get the sticker on your head.
There you go.
No, I'm just.
There you go. So we'll take some video and pictures of all the ships that.
It'd be really fun to be down there and provide some coverage for folks who can't get down there.
That's right.
So that'll be nice.
All right, let's go ahead and count this one off. You ready?
Let's do it. Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Happy ship watching. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the episode. See you on the next one.